the developments you see in the talent space, and how is that affecting the recruitment function?
The world of HR is changing. HR is seen as very tactical and operational. I think they have to become more strategic. Now, part of that's because the traditional things we have to do about recruiting, maybe downsizing, but what we're seeing now is the complex world in which HR operates. So the job is becoming more complex, has to be more strategic, but with the same token also has to demonstrate return on investment. And I think there's a lot of pressure on HR to demonstrate the value add. I think we see that globally everywhere. Take the US and Europe, probably more mature than Asia or parts of Asia. So they're well ahead of the game. They've been demonstrating ROI for quite a while now. But if you take more into Asia, then it's not so much so. That's one aspect. So it's how do we show or prove that the money we're investing into acquisition or recruitment is right? One of the challenges we're often kind of presented with as a business, we're talking to clients, is should I recruit or should I develop? My answer to that is it depends. You know, what are you trying to do? If you just go through the process, you know, you're not going to get anywhere. So take it more strategically. You know, what is your business trying to do? Then ultimately from that, do you have the right people in your business to execute the strategy? So it has to become more strategic. It has to be pre-planned. You have to understand the talent you've got within your organization. Because to answer the question, do I recruit or do I develop? If you don't know what you've got, you don't know whether to recruit or develop. We are working on a global economy now. So, you know, even in India, for example, you could say, well, I'm an Indian business. I'm insular to India. I don't have to worry about what's going on. I would challenge that. Every company now works on a global scale. They work on a global landscape. Borders are coming down. So not only do you have to remain competitive within your local market, such as India, or the wider Asia market, but you have to be conscious of what's going on globally as well to stay ahead of the game. Why is it important? Well, organizations are going to invest in growth economies. You know, India is seen as a growth economy, China is seen as a growth economy, and Middle East is seen as a growth economy. And if organizations are wanting to set up operations within those countries, then they will look to see what talent is available in those markets. The other thing we see is, you know, the global demand for talent. Where's the pools of talent globally? So the BRICS of old, you know, the Brazil, Russia, India, China, they've gone. And tomorrow we're talking about the TIMs, you know, the Turkey, Indonesia, Mexico, and South Korea. So people are starting to say, where's the abundance of talent? Where shall I fish? The challenge for recruiters is kind of understanding the talent that's available locally, where does the talent exist globally, and starting fishing for that. So I think the war for talent is here and now, and it's going to get worse. We've talked about, you know, the global barriers coming down from an economic perspective. The global barriers are coming down from a people perspective as well. What the SHL talent report shows us is that leadership today is one thing. Leadership tomorrow is completely different. And whilst you may have leadership for today, you know, you may not have that leadership population for tomorrow. What does it mean for you as an organization? Well, okay, you can recruit people today, but tomorrow they're going to be scarce. So you're going to have to identify the good people you've got today, who are your future leaders of tomorrow, and nurture them and get them ready and retain them, obviously, because it's fair to say, you know, that leadership or talent has never been harder to identify, attract, retain, and develop. But we need to do this now. We need to identify what good looks like and hang on to it and nurture it. And that's around leadership, but it's also around key skills as well. You know, if you look at the talent report that SHL produced, it's very interesting if you look at IT skills, especially in India. The talent report shows that tomorrow or down the line, you know, 15 years or so, there's going to be a shortage of those skill sets, even in India. If there's a shortage of skills, then we may lose some of those jobs, we may lose some of those organizations, therefore the growth in those sectors will stop, they'll start diminishing, and therefore the contribution from those sectors will decrease. What does it mean? A lot of the colleges and the universities that are currently kind of gearing people towards that and pushing them down that kind of route in terms of career, if the opportunities do not exist for those people down the line, then again it's going to give rise to a higher level of unemployment or people that have got a certain set of skills but don't have any jobs which in order for them to use. So they're either going to have to go into the unemployment side, they're going to have to retrain, or you're going to lose them. You're going to have a brain drain out of India into other countries which want to invest in that.
So you feel this availability of research helps you taking a decision of what your right mix of hiring should be.
You may have a very structured recruitment process, and you may think you recruit the best people there are, but how do you know? All you've got is an internal judgment. You know, the world of big data is into HR. And I think we have to be very careful that we've got a lot of data in HR. And maybe where organizations need to get better is actually understanding the quality of data they've got and how to apply that into everyday kind of views or processes. So, you know, in SHL, we have something called talent analytics, and we allow organizations, or we use the data, let's say, that we have to provide an organization with a strategic insight. And that strategic insight could be, okay, you know, the leaders that you're recruiting today, how does it stack up against leaders within India? How does the leadership that you're recruiting today look like in terms of the banking financial sector, or the retail sector, hospitality sector? Or what does it look like across Asia, or the rest of the world, or globally, whatever it may be? So I think analytics allows you to start doing some external benchmarking, some external referencing, because as we've said time and time again, you know, people do drive performance. It's the people that make your business. And by understanding the quality of people you've got compared to your competitors, then do you have competitive advantage? So I think, you know, that data's been around. I think organizations are not realizing the true power of that yet. You know, there's a lot of organizations out there. I think Taleo ran a report as well, saying that, you know, if you look at organizations, they probably only use about 30% of the data they have on their people to make informed business decisions. So, you know, I would encourage organizations, the data's there, you've got the data, you know, we can help you use that data to make an informed business decision.